Have you ever had that feeling that there's a better version of yourself trapped somewhere inside? Like you're an iPhone that's been running on power-saving mode for years without even realizing it? Welcome to the Anti-Coach Social Club, where we discover that unlocking your potential doesn't require magical mantras or esoteric crystal rituals. Do you know the truth no one tells you? Your potential isn't hidden because you're not good enough. It's hidden because you've learned to hide from it. And today, we're going to talk about the 4 major blocks that are keeping your best self locked in the basement of your mind, eating cold pizza and watching reruns of bad shows. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to have a passcode to life while you're still trying to figure out whether to push or pull the door, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's holding you back and, more importantly, how to break free from it. The myth of natural talent. Let's start by debunking a lie you've probably been carrying around since you were a kid. Remember that classmate who was naturally good at math? Or the friend who was born knowing how to draw? Well, I have news for you. Natural talent is one of humanity's biggest myths, second only to the myth that pineapples belong on pizza. The truth is, our brains are lazy narrative machines. When we see someone doing something well, we automatically assume they've always been that way. It's like watching a chimpanzee swinging perfectly from branch to branch and thinking, oh, he was born knowing how. No, my friend, he spent years falling flat on his face before he learned. Here's a fact that might sting a bit. That cousin of yours you consider a genius at programming. He spent sleepless nights racking his brains over code that didn't work. The difference is he didn't stop when it got tough. He treated failure as feedback, not a sentence. The problem isn't that some people are born with superpowers. The problem is that when we're kids, someone convinces us that we're the kind who's good at some things and the kind who isn't good at others. And then we spend the rest of our lives operating within these imaginary boxes. But here's the incredible part of our story as a species: neuroplasticity. Your brain is literally redesignable. It's not a computer with fixed settings. It's more like sophisticated modeling clay that adapts to what you do with it. Every time you practice something new, your brain builds new pathways, like a clever chimpanzee creating new routes through the forest. So if you still believe you're not the type to do it, you're operating with outdated information about yourself. Your potential isn't limited by what you were capable of at 12 years old. The comfort zone is a 5-star prison. Now let's talk about the most dangerous place in the world, your comfort zone. And why is it dangerous? Because it's too good to leave voluntarily. It's like an all-inclusive resort for your mediocrity, where everything is predictable, safe, and deadly to your growth. Think of it this way. Imagine a chimpanzee who finds a fruit tree. At first, it's paradise, easy food, shade, protection. But what happens when the fruit runs out? If the chimpanzee doesn't learn to explore other trees, it will starve to death in the perfect tree. That's exactly what we do with our lives. We find a okay job, okay relationships, okay routines, and we stay there, thinking we're safe. But security without growth isn't life. It's just a slow, comfortable way to die inside. The comfort zone has fantastic false advertising. It whispers things like, why risk it? And you already have enough and a bird in the hand is better. But it never mentions the real price. You trade your unlimited potential for a temporary sense of control. Here's a truth that might be uncomfortable. Everyone you admire has had to step out of their comfort zone repeatedly. There is no growth without discomfort. It's a law of emotional physics. You can't get stronger without resistance. You can't get smarter without challenges, and you can't discover what you're capable of without testing your limits. But don't worry, I'm not suggesting you drop everything and become a digital nomad tomorrow. The smart way to leave your comfort zone is gradual. It's like teaching a chimpanzee to jump between branches. You don't start with the Grand Canyon. You start with a branch a little further away each day. The secret is to create what I call controlled discomfort, small daily actions that expand your limits without sending you to therapy. because ultimately, your comfort zone will grow or shrink based on what you do. If you only do easy things, even average things will seem impossible. But if you gradually challenge yourself, your capacity to handle new things expands. The secret power of smart failure. Now we come to the topic everyone hates to discuss: failure. But here at the Anti-Coach Social Club, we don't shy away from difficult conversations, and this may be the most important of all. First, let's establish something. You have a toxic relationship with failure. It's not your fault. You were programmed for it. From a young age, you were taught that failure is shameful, that making mistakes is a sign of incompetence, that trying and failing is better than not even trying. This has created a generation of people who would rather not gamble than risk losing. They'd rather not try than face the possibility of failure. It's like a chimpanzee who never leaves the ground floor because they're afraid of falling out of a tree. Safe? Yes. Limited? Completely. But here's the plot twist. There's a huge difference between dumb failure and smart failure. A dumb failure is repeating the same mistake, expecting different results. It's failing to learn anything from the experience. It's failing out of negligence or ego. Smart failure is experimenting, collecting data, adjusting your approach, and trying again with better information. People with unlocked potential don't fail less. They fail better. They extract more value from every stumble. Every mistake becomes information. Every no becomes a redirection. Every closed door becomes a signpost for the next one. Do you know the difference between someone who gives up at the first obstacle and someone who persists until they succeed? It's not courage, it's not luck, it's not natural talent. It's the ability to reframe failure, to see each failure as an experiment that generated valuable data. Imagine if chimpanzees gave up learning to swing from trees after their first fall. They'd be stuck on the ground forever. But they don't interpret the fall as, "I'm a failure as a chimpanzee." They interpret it as, "I need to adjust my technique." Failure only becomes a problem when you stop learning from it. When you start treating it as feedback from the universe, rather than a judgment of your worth as a person, everything changes. Your mistakes become your most honest teachers, and your ability to try new things multiplies. Unlocking the inner chimp. We've reached the final chapter, and this is where everything connects. Because ultimately, the greatest battle for your potential isn't against the outside world. It's against your own inner chimpanzee. Let me explain. Within your sophisticated brain, there's still a primitive part that thinks like our ancestors from millions of years ago. This part doesn't understand dreams, goals, or potential. It only understands basic survival: food, shelter, safety, belonging. For your inner chimpanzee, anything new is potentially deadly. Public speaking, risk of rejection from the group; trying a new career, a threat to your safety; expressing an original idea, risk of being expelled from the tribe. This system worked perfectly when we lived in small groups hunting mammoths, but today it constantly sabotages us. Your inner chimp is responsible for that voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" when you dream big. It's the one that whispers, "You're not qualified enough," when an opportunity arises. It's the one that screams, "Everyone will laugh at you," when you think about trying something new. The imposter syndrome you're experiencing? It's your inner chimpanzee worrying you'll be discovered and kicked out of the group. The procrastination that paralyzes you? It's trying to protect you from the risk of public failure. The fear of shining? It's worrying you'll stand out too much and become a target. But here's the good news. You don't have to completely silence your inner chimp. It has an important self-preservation function. The trick is to teach it that the world has changed, that the risks it sees are, for the most part, illusory. How do you do this? First, by recognizing when it's in control. Every time you feel that irrational fear, that critical inner voice, that urge to hide, stop and ask yourself, is this a real threat, or is my inner chimp creating fantasies? Second, negotiate with him. Instead of fighting these fears, acknowledge them and propose compromises. "Okay, chimp, I understand your concern, but how about we try this new thing for just a week, just to gather information? Third, feed it small victories. Every time you do something that seemed scary and survive, your inner chimp updates its database of what's truly dangerous. Unlocking potential isn't about eliminating fear. It's about acting in spite of it. It's about recognizing that your inner chimp is trying to protect you, thanking it for its concern, and gently showing it that you've evolved since the caveman era. So, to recap our journey, your potential isn't hidden because you're not capable. It's blocked because you believe myths about natural talent have settled into a comfort zone that feels safe but is limiting, have developed a toxic relationship with failure, and are still operating with the mental operating system of a chimpanzee from millions of years ago. But now you have the keys. You know that skills can be developed at any time. You understand that controlled discomfort is the price of growth. You can reframe failure as valuable feedback, and you can negotiate with your inner chimp instead of being held hostage by it. Your potential isn't buried treasure you need to find with a magic map. It's more like a muscle that needs to be exercised, a skill that needs to be practiced, a garden that needs to be tended daily. The best version of yourself isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be built, choice by choice, day by day. Intelligent failure by intelligent failure. And remember, you don't have to become a completely new person overnight. You just need to start making choices that the person you want to become would make. Your potential is unlocked in practice, not in theory. If this video made you reflect or gave you a new perspective, leave a like to feed the algorithm and help more people find these ideas. Subscribe to the channel for more content that balances humor and real growth, without that generic motivational coaching vibe. And tell us in the comments, which of these 4 blocks did you most identify with? The myth of natural talent, the confinement of your comfort zone, the toxic relationship with failure, or the sabotage of your inner chimp. Your experience may help other members of our anti-coach community. Until the next video, and remember, your potential is not hidden. It's just waiting for you to stop hiding from it.